one of the things you can do in your family, well, even for yourself, to promote positive change that's unbelievably effective. I'll give you an example of this. So there's a famous psychologist, B.F. Skinner.
Yep.
And B.F. Skinner was the father of reinforcement learning theory. And that's a big deal. These large language models, these new AI systems, they're trained with reinforcement theory. So like this was a major deal. And B.F. Skinner was a master of this. And in World War II, he trained pigeons to guide missiles by pecking on photographs as they were flying across the sky, right? So Skinner could train animals to do anything. Now, he noted that you could use threat and punishment to shape an animal's behavior, but the best thing to use was targeted reward. And so what he would do is his animals were hungry because they had to be motivated to work for food pellets. And so he'd have a hungry animal. Maybe so imagine there's a rat in a cage and there's a little ladder and you want the rat to go up on the ladder and then walk across and go down the other side. It's pretty complicated behavior. So here's how Skinner would do it. He would just watch that rat, and as soon as it got near, as soon as it made a move near the ladder, he'd give it a food pellet. Then it would start hanging around the ladder, and when it was hanging around close to the bottom of the ladder, now and then it would put a paw up, and he'd give it a food pellet. And then now the rat was doing this quite a bit, and then now and then it would do this, food pellet. And so but the key issue was that he was observing, and then when he got an increment of behavior in the direction he wanted, he signified that. Well, that's what you're doing with your customers, is you're paying very careful attention, and then one of your customers does something that you'd really like them to do more of. You notice, you tell them, you reward them for it, and then the other thing you said that was very cool was that people are dying for this. It's like, if you watch people, you'll see that they do some tentative good things kind of secretly. It's like they're hoping that someone will notice, but generally people don't. And so they'll do something good that's a little bit extra. They'll do this with their boss or with their wife. And generally people are kind of opaque to that. But if you notice that, you say, ha! With kids, you see this. With kids, you see, like, I see that you spent a little extra time, like, putting away your Legos today. And like, you moved all those Legos from there to there, and that was really good. I'd like to see more of that. The kid is just like, if you can catch them in the act, man, they're so happy about that.
That's right.
And so so now you've got your 100 people who are on your side, and you're watching them very carefully. If they put in a good word for you, which they don't have to do, by the way, you want to say, we saw that, we appreciate it. Here's a little gift. Thank you very much. That's all. You don't have to say, please keep doing it. That's right. That gets that exchange going, right? And those person to person, like one of the things we're very careful on tour, for example. I mean, I see thousands of people. Hey, and my staff know this particularly. The rule for my staff is, do not ever annoy any of the people who are interested in coming up to me or being at the shows, because because if you annoy one person, they will tell 1,000 people. If you annoy 100 people enough so they start talking about it, you're done. Your business is done. I don't really care the scale.
Stephen Covey in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, talks about emotional equity, and he says it takes roughly 10 positives, 10 praises
to cancel out one,
to take one criticism.
That's probably an underestimate.
That's
well, and
powerful.
Also people remember the negative.
We're hardwired to remember. Nobody comes back from town and says, honey, I hit 5 go lights. We hit stop lights. We never call them go lights, even though they let us go. We never think about them letting us go. We think about them making us stop.